Top 20 Domestic Violence Advocate Interview Questions and Answers. Domestic abuse, often known as domestic violence or intimate partner violence, is a pattern of behavior intended to establish or retain power and control over an intimate partner in any relationship. Abuse is defined as physical, sexual, emotional, financial, or psychological acts or threats against another individual. Any behavior that frightens, intimidates, terrorizes, manipulates, hurts, humiliates, blames, injures, or wounds someone falls under this category. Here are the top 20 domestic violence advocate interview questions and answers for your interview preparation. 1. Why are you interested in this role? If you haven't given it enough thought and preparation, the interview question, "Why are you interested in this position?" might be surprisingly difficult to answer. It's easy to become so preoccupied with making a good first impression that you start talking about the one thing you know best, and that is yourself. Try to give a very interesting answer related to the field and how it relates to your passion. Sample answer. When I was only 11, I used to read books and articles on domestic violence and knew that one day I would be a domestic violence advocate. When I was in college, working towards my advocate degree, my professor gave us the assignment to handle the case of child abuse and suggested that to join a few NGOs working for this purpose as well. So I interviewed and visited some of them and got my experience in this. When I read about this position, I got interested and applied for it. 2. What are the roles of the domestic violence advocate? Domestic violence advocate is a job of responsibilities. There is a huge list of responsibilities attached to this job. You have to travel across different locations and interact with different people in order to prepare the file and provide justice. So, the duties are countless, but you need to address the most useful and prior ones. Sample answer. The roles of the domestic violence advocate include: comply with all agency regulations and work standards. Keep your professional boundaries clear. As needed, attend and actively engage in agency meetings. Ability to perform. Belief in the organization's mission, vision, and values. Familiarity with domestic violence issues. Ability to work with a variety of people. Ability to interact sympathetically with distressed people and respond effectively in a crisis. Ability to work both alone and collaboratively. Excellent communication abilities, both written and vocal. Superior problem-solving skills. 3. What are the qualities that a domestic violence advocate needs to be successful? Of course, becoming a domestic violence advocate is not an easy thing to do. It requires lots of effort and a strong knowledge of state law and norms. Apart from this, there are certain qualities that a domestic violence advocate must possess in order to be successful in his or her career. So the right answer to this question in this situation is: sample answer. The main qualities that a domestic violence advocate must possess are that he must be extremely active towards the incidents. He or she should be a great listener. He should react wisely and instantly. And he should have all the information regarding the work and the field, so if any issue arises, he should have complete knowledge on how to tackle it. 4. What major challenges did you face during your last role? How did you manage them? This question is often asked by the recruiter to analyze what challenges you have faced, what were their levels, and how you managed them. This will give confidence to the recruiter during the final hiring. Sample answer. I was appointed to a case in which the woman, who was constantly beaten by her husband, refused to recognize that she was in an abusive marriage. The most difficult thing I've done was persuade her that this was the proper thing to do and instill confidence in her. 5. Describe your daily routine as a domestic violence advocate. A domestic violence advocate has a lot of things to do. It is not a normal job where if you'll miss something, then it will not make an impact. It is a job in which you are continuously fighting for justice. So daily routine matters in a sense that the interviewer wants to see whether you have any information about the job or not. Sample answer. My morning routine starts with checking messages on my smartphone. After having breakfast, I go for my work and usually check files and perform other formalities. After that, I resume the pending cases to provide them with the right type of assistance. I do have field visits in case of any domestic violence. This is how my everyday starts and ends. My only objective is to perform my duty honestly. 6. Describe briefly about your experience. This question is a must-ask question. Although your resume will provide all the details of your experience, still this question is asked to get some words about your experience from your side. In this case, mention your education and then your professional experience as well. Sample answer. I studied in a law college where I completed and attained my law degree. After that, I worked officially with a law firm where I was hired as a domestic violence advocate and performed duties for almost 10 years. I also worked as an attorney in different firms before my official posting, which makes my case of getting hired stronger. 7. What kind of strategies and mindset is required for this role? As mentioned earlier, domestic violence advocate is not an easy profession. It requires constant effort. Without a clear mindset and the right strategies, you can lose the case or easily get under pressure. To avoid this, recruiters often ask this question to get information about this aspect as well. Sample answer. Domestic violence advocate requires extreme knowledge and grip over the law to prevent and bring the victims to the court. For this, he should be active and always fight the cases with arguments and evidence. This is the correct strategy and mindset required for this role. 8. What is the biggest challenge that you foresee in this job? This question is often asked to remove the hurdles before you're joining. This is a helping question if asked. This will give an idea about your mentality and also help them to organize things according to your pace of work. Sample answer. This field is versatile and on daily basis. You experience different cases. The only challenge that I foresee in this job is that your office is situated far away from the urban city. So reaching out to the clients and sometimes responding back can be an issue. Otherwise, there is no such thing that I foresee as a challenge in this job. 9. How do you stay motivated in your work? Without motivation, the job becomes a headache. This question is asked to get an idea of whether you are just applying for fun and to support your family financially, or you really like the job. The factors that you will mention will give a clear idea about it. Sample answer. This work appeals to me, and that is why I took a degree in law as well. This is my work and it keeps me motivated. Sometimes, if I get exhausted, I take a few minutes break and refresh myself with a beverage and come back to the work. 10. Describe a time when you failed in this role and a lesson you learned. Learning lessons from mistakes is extremely important. The interviewer will ask this question so that he can assess that when you failed last time and what did you learn from it. This will also give an idea about the level of the hardest challenge that you have faced till now. Sample answer. You know we have a large team no matter where we work. We have to work as a unit. So there is less chance that you get failed, but still, I remember a case where we had to provide justice to a child who was harassed by a group of people. They were strong financially and politically, so we had big troubles, but in the end, we and the Human Rights Department collectively worked over the case and won successfully. 11. Why do you feel you are the most suited for this role? Most people encounter this question when they go for an interview. This question is asked to give you a chance to show your confidence in yourself and tell the firm as well at how you will add value to it. Sample answer. I feel that, in addition to having a bachelor's degree in human services and 10 years of committed experience as a domestic violence advocate, I have the skill and expertise of the criminal justice system that makes someone working in this job highly qualified. In terms of personal qualities, I am a good blend of patience and perseverance, and I can easily handle difficult instances and see them through to completion. 12. Share with us your greatest achievement. Your greatest achievements are your greatest success. They ensure that you have successfully achieved your desired goals, and that makes you stronger for the next challenges. Highlight your top-of-the-line achievements to leave a good impression. Sample answer. My greatest achievement is the one that I have mentioned above. This was the fastest and greatest achievement that we had. 13. What is your opinion on domestic violence? The interviewer wants to know that how you take domestic violence. Your feelings here will show your passion for the role, as this role is completely linked with emotions and feelings. Try to be honest and give the answer from bottom of your heart. Sample answer. Domestic violence, in my opinion, is a disease. It may be difficult to eradicate, but if more individuals contribute, things may become a little simpler to manage, as controlling it will be less of a headache. 14. Isn't it tough to maintain a distance from the victims for whom you're making a case? How do you go about doing it? The interviewer wants to know the steps you take to keep yourself safe from harsh and dangerous steps taken from the opposing members of the case. This will show your wisdom and highlight your intelligence. Sample answer. It is true that representing a victim can be emotionally draining. But thanks to the training I've acquired over the years, I've been able to maintain as much distance as possible without coming off as obnoxious. 15. Do you have a different approach when it comes to dealing with children? There's a difference in the mentality of a young person and a child. The interviewer wants to see that how you act or behave with the kids and how you handle them in such difficult situations. The best answer to this question is, sample answer. Certainly, when it comes to children, I employ my nice tone rather than the helping one. 16. Advocates for victims of domestic violence may work on multiple cases at once. What are your priorities? This question is often asked to check how you handle multiple tasks and how you handle pressure and burden because this job is not easy. It can be hectic and may make you feel completely exhausted. If you have experience only then, you can handle such pressure. Sample answer, I frequently work on multiple cases at once. Unless otherwise directed by my superiors, my priorities are determined by who requires my services the most. It is completely based on the urgency of the victim and the case. Sometimes there are cases of very few children that need to be addressed quickly. So we manage things according to the situations and criterias. 17. What aspects of your profession do you enjoy the most? This question is asked to relax you a little bit. Thinking of bad things continuously makes stressful. So the interviewer will ask this question to relax you a little bit and think of some good things. Sample answer. Connecting with people is the most enjoyable aspect of domestic violence work. Even if their experiences are sad, I appreciate hearing them and give them whatever strength, love, and understanding I can. We are all human, and we all have our challenges, and individuals who have a non-judgmental someone to help them during a difficult period benefit the most. 18. What do you think the worst part of domestic violence is? It is often said that hope for the best but prepare for the worst. The interviewer wants to see that what you dislike the most about this job. This question will not make any impact, but this is often asked just for the sake of healthy conversation. Sample answer. The most difficult aspect of domestic violence work is witnessing someone with so much potential return to her abuser, to her addictions, to sacrifice her kids, and to spiral farther down. It's difficult to have high expectations for someone just to see them fall into worse and worse conditions. I wish there was a way for me to invest all of my optimism and faith in them in order to aid their success. 19. What would you like others to know about how they can help? This question makes a huge impact. Your thought about others and your feelings are what the interviewer is looking at in this question. This can be thought-provoking and can really make an impact if other things went well. Sample answer. Each of us has the ability to make a difference. We are all human beings who fight and fall. And we're all capable of compassion, empathy, and the ability to reach out and assist someone who is struggling. Anyone can be a victim of domestic violence. If you've never had it happen to you, don't pass judgment on people who are currently going through it. Don't give up on them just yet. 20. Tell us, how do you work in under pressure? This is when your ability to execute under pressure comes in handy. Also, if at all possible, use an example that is relevant to the position you are applying for. The best method to answer this question is to give specific instances and scenarios of how you dealt with stress in past jobs. In this approach, the interviewer can get a good idea of how you'll react when things become tough. Sample answer. I'd like to believe that I react to situations rather than becoming stressed by them. Many situations can be avoided becoming needlessly stressful if they are handled effectively. Actually, I believe I work better when I'm under pressure. It has aided me in producing some of my best work, and I enjoy being stretched. In terms of stress management, I like to go out or go for a walk to burn off the day's stress. Conclusion. These were the top 20 domestic violence advocate interview questions and answers for your interview preparation. If you feel any difficulty in the preparation of the domestic violence advocate interview, you can mention it in the comments section. We will definitely help you out, as this role is extremely difficult and requires extreme preparation. Best of luck for your interview.